Every year, millions of Americans rush to buy new pickup trucks, chasing power, performance, and that feeling of freedom only a truck can deliver. But what if I told you that behind all the marketing hype and built tough slogans, some of these trucks are hiding massive problems that could cost you thousands? From engines that fail under pressure to models so disappointing they've been discontinued entirely, the 2025 truck market has seen it all. Some brands got it right, others not even close. So before you drop $50,000 on your next truck, let's pull back the curtain on the 5 worst and 7 best pickups of 2025, including one that's secretly breaking sales records and another that's quietly vanishing from dealerships forever. Because when it comes to trucks, one wrong choice could turn your dream ride into your biggest regret. For years, Toyota built its reputation on one word: reliability. But in 2025, that reputation took a serious hit. The Toyota Tundra, once considered unbreakable, became the center of frustration for thousands of loyal owners. On paper, the twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 looked like progress. Smaller, more fuel-efficient, and supposedly more advanced than the old V8. In reality, it felt like a downgrade. Drivers report turbo lag, rough shifting, and less towing confidence than ever before. And that fancy new 10-speed automatic? It jerks, hesitates, and sometimes refuses to downshift when hauling. Imagine towing a trailer uphill and feeling your transmission second-guess itself. That's not confidence, that's anxiety. Then there's the tech Toyota bragged about, a 14-inch touchscreen that freezes, lags, and sometimes reboots mid-drive. Combine that with a suspension setup that feels more like a trampoline than a truck, and you've got a pickup that costs over $40,000 but drives like a beta test. Toyota fans didn't see this coming, and that's what makes it sting. The brand that once defined durability seems to have traded it for digital gimmicks and fuel economy goals. And the irony? The real-world mileage isn't even that impressive. But Toyota wasn't alone in this fall from grace. Another American giant took built tough and turned it into built rough. For decades, the names Chevy and Ram have been carved into the heart of American trucking culture. They're the go-to choice for people who work hard, haul heavy, and don't take shortcuts. But in 2025, both of these so-called workhorses showed cracks, deep ones. Let's start with the Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD. This beast was supposed to dominate job sites and towing competitions. Instead, it's been leaving owners stranded with a pile of repair bills. The 6.6-liter Duramax diesel, once a symbol of brute power, has turned into a money pit. Reports of fuel system failures, injector breakdowns, and high-pressure pump collapses are everywhere. And these aren't minor fixes. A single repair can cost several $1,000s. But the misery doesn't stop there. Chevy's proud Allison 10-speed automatic, a selling point in every commercial, has been called out for harsh shifts, sluggish response, and even slipping under load. Imagine towing 10,000 pounds, pressing the gas, and feeling your transmission hesitate like it's not sure what to do. That's not built for work. That's built for worry. And the inside? It feels like it's still 2015. Hard plastics, average tech, and cabin noise that drowns out conversation at highway speed. For a truck that can top $60,000, the Silverado 2500 HD doesn't feel premium. It feels stuck in the past. Then there's the Ram 2500 HD, the other heavyweight that's been throwing punches at its own reputation. Owners of the 6.7-liter Cummins diesel report transmission overheating, slipping gears, and even total failure from the same weak spot that's haunted Ram for years, the 68 RFE automatic. You'd think by now they'd fix it. They haven't. And when it's not braking, it's breaking your back. The leaf spring rear suspension makes it bounce like a pogo stick when driving unloaded. Combine that with gas mileage in the low teens, and you've got a truck that's powerful on paper but punishing in reality. These are the trucks that were built to last until they didn't. Once symbols of American strength, now they're cautionary tales for anyone who thinks brand loyalty still guarantees quality. But if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the truck that didn't just fail, it vanished from the market completely. Every major automaker has its flagship truck. Ford has the F-150. Chevy has the Silverado. Toyota has the Tundra. But Nissan? They had the Titan, a bold attempt to challenge the giants. And now, it's gone. After years of struggling to gain ground in the US market, Nissan quietly pulled the plug on the Titan. 2024 marked its final production year. No farewell campaign, no big send-off, just silence. And that's what makes this story so strange. The Titan wasn't a bad idea. On paper, it checked all the boxes. A strong 5.6-liter V8, solid towing numbers, and classic truck styling, but it aged faster than a carton of milk. While Ford, Ram, and Chevy kept reinventing themselves with cutting-edge interiors and hybrid options, Nissan froze in time. The Titan's design barely changed since 2016, and buyers noticed. The result? A truck that looked outdated, drove like it belonged in the previous decade, and drank fuel like it was still $2 a gallon. Owners report 13 to 15 miles per gallon on average, the kind of mileage that makes your wallet cry. But the real problem wasn't just fuel economy or old tech, it was relevance. Nissan never gave the Titan a true identity. It wasn't luxurious enough to challenge Ram, powerful enough to rival Ford, or affordable enough to beat Toyota. It sat awkwardly in the middle, forgotten by most buyers. And now, it's official. Nissan has discontinued the Titan, leaving current owners to wonder what comes next. Will parts still be available in 5 years? How far will resale values drop when a model disappears from the lineup? It's a cautionary tale for anyone who thinks a big name guarantees a big future. The Titan tried to play in a league it wasn't built for, and in the end, it got benched permanently. But while Nissan's story ends here, another truck's story is just beginning. One that promised to be the ultimate off-road warrior, yet ended up being one of the biggest disappointments of the year. When Jeep announced the Gladiator, fans went wild. A Wrangler with a truck bed? It sounded like the ultimate adventure machine, a dream for anyone who wanted off-road capability and utility in one package. But when the hype wore off and the reality kicked in, the Gladiator's armor started to crack. The problem starts with its DNA. The Gladiator is built on the same platform as the Wrangler, which means it inherited both the strengths and the weaknesses. That solid front axle everyone praises off-road, it turns into a nightmare on the highway. Owners describe the ride as bouncy, twitchy, and unstable, especially at higher speeds. And the wind noise? Let's just say it's hard to enjoy your favorite playlist when it sounds like the roof is trying to take off. Then there's performance. For all its rugged looks, the Gladiator struggles to do what real trucks are meant to do: haul and tow. With a maximum towing capacity of just 7,700 pounds, it trails far behind rivals like the Ford Ranger or Chevy Colorado, both of which can tow over 9,000 pounds. Even its payload capacity feels weak. Load the bed with anything substantial, and you'll feel every ounce of weight. And the reliability? That's where the Gladiator completely loses its grip. Reports of electrical issues, transmission failures, and front axle weaknesses keep piling up. Its 3.6-liter V6 engine feels dated, delivering mediocre power and fuel economy that rarely tops 17 miles per gallon. In short, the Gladiator looks like a warrior, but fights like a rookie. It's fun for weekend off-roading, sure, but as a daily driver or work truck, it's outclassed, overpriced, and overhyped. Jeep fans expected a legend. What they got was a compromise, one that costs over $45,000 and still leaves drivers wondering what could have been. But not every story in 2025 ends in failure. While some brands stumbled hard, others reinvented what a pickup could be, proving that innovation isn't just about power, it's about purpose. After all the failures, breakdowns, and overhyped disappointments, it's easy to lose faith in the modern truck market. But just when things looked bleak, two underdogs stepped in and completely rewrote the rules: the Hyundai Santa Cruz and the Ford Maverick. These trucks don't try to outmuscle the giants. Instead, they outsmart them. They're compact, efficient, tech-savvy, and perfect for a new generation of drivers who want utility without the bulk. Let's start with the Hyundai Santa Cruz. When it first hit the market, traditional truck fans laughed. "That's not a real truck," they said. But a year later, the Santa Cruz was proving them wrong, one test drive at a time. Under the hood, it packs a 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, delivering 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Plenty of punch for everyday driving, all while getting around 23 miles per gallon combined. It can still tow up to 5,000 pounds, rivaling mid-sized competitors like the Honda Ridgeline. But the real genius is in its design. The bed might be short, but it's versatile, with hidden underfloor storage, a lockable tonneau cover, and space smartly engineered for urban living. Inside, it feels more like a luxury SUV than a truck. Quiet, tech-packed, and surprisingly refined. Hyundai didn't just build a pickup, they built a lifestyle vehicle for people who don't want to drive a tank to get groceries. Then came the Ford Maverick, a compact hybrid that changed everything. At first glance, it looked simple, but behind that unassuming face was something revolutionary. 40 miles per gallon fuel economy, a starting price under $25,000, and a full hybrid system that lets you haul, camp, or commute on a budget. It wasn't about brute force. It was about practical power. Both the Maverick and Santa Cruz prove that size isn't everything. They brought pickups back to reality, affordable, efficient, and built for real life, not just heavy hauling. These are the trucks that fit into garages, sip fuel, and still give you that feeling of freedom. And while the big names were busy fixing their problems, something else was quietly rising. A new era of electric dominance that's redefining what power even means. The truck world used to run on diesel fumes and raw muscle, but that era is ending faster than anyone expected. The new face of power doesn't roar, it hums. And leading this quiet revolution is one truck that shocked even the toughest skeptics, the Rivian R1T. Rivian didn't just build an electric truck, they built a statement. 4 electric motors, one for each wheel, delivering a jaw-dropping 835 horsepower and an absurd 908 pound-feet of torque. That's supercar performance in a pickup body. It launches from 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds, faster than most Ferraris, while towing up to 11,000 pounds without breaking a sweat. And unlike gas-powered rivals, torque comes instantly, the kind that pins you to your seat and makes you forget what gear shifts even are. But it's not just fast, it's smart. With 4-wheel torque vectoring, the R1T can literally adjust power on the fly to each tire, giving it off-road control that feels almost supernatural. Add to that a 400-mile range and a fast-charging system that adds 140 miles in 20 minutes, and you start to see why this truck doesn't just compete, it dominates. Inside, it feels more like a Tesla meets a Range Rover. Clean lines, luxurious materials, and a massive touchscreen that controls nearly everything. Still, Rivian isn't alone in this electric uprising. The Ford F-150 Lightning is rewriting history too, taking America's best-selling truck and giving it a new kind of muscle. With 775 pound-feet of torque, it can outpull some diesels while offering a 320-mile range and dual motors that make it feel planted and powerful. But the Lightning's secret weapon is practicality. Its ProPower onboard system turns the truck into a mobile generator, providing up to 9.6 kilowatts of electricity. enough to power a home during an outage or run a full job site. And then there's the hybrid movement, led by trucks like the F-150 Power Boost and the Toyota Tacoma Hybrid. These hybrids blend the best of both worlds: gas range, electric torque, and fuel efficiency that once seemed impossible in a pickup. For the first time, power isn't about displacement, it's about innovation. The torque wars have gone digital, and the winners are silent. But there's one name that refuses to be dethroned, a truck that's evolved through every generation, weathered every rival, and still stands at the top of the mountain. And its story proves that sometimes tradition and innovation can coexist perfectly. Through every recall, every redesign, and every new competitor trying to steal the crown, one name has stood tall for over 4 decades: the Ford F-150. This isn't just a truck, it's a symbol of American engineering and endurance. For over 40 straight years, it's been the best-selling vehicle in the country, and 2025 is no exception. While others struggle to find their identity, the F-150 keeps perfecting its formula. What makes it so dominant? It's the balance: power, versatility, and brains all working together. Under the hood, you can pick your flavor. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost Vi6 with 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The 5.0-liter Coyote 5.8 for traditionalists, or the PowerBoost hybrid that delivers up to 25 miles per gallon while still towing nearly 13,000 pounds. Speaking of towing, no half-ton truck comes close. The F-150 can haul up to 14,000 pounds, and thanks to features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist and onboard scales, even beginners can tow with confidence. But the brilliance of the F-150 isn't just in brute strength, it's in the details. Step inside and it feels like a high-end SUV. A 12-inch digital display, Sync 4 infotainment, massive center console workspace, and massaging seats on top trims make long drives surprisingly luxurious. And for those who treat their truck as a tool, the F-150 doubles as a mobile power plant with Pro Power onboard. Up to 7.2 kilowatts of electricity for your tools, your campsite, or even your home during a blackout. But beyond the specs and screens, what really sets the F-150 apart is trust. Ford has built a legacy on evolution, not revolution, refining what works and fixing what doesn't. It's a truck that adapts to every kind of driver: the worker, the weekend adventurer, the tech lover, the loyalist. And that's why, in a market full of noise, the F-150 still speaks the loudest. It's the blueprint everyone else is chasing. So whether you're hunting for innovation, muscle, or long-term reliability, one truth remains: the F-150 doesn't just lead the pack, it is the pack. And that wraps up the 5 worst and 7 best pickup trucks of 2025. From models that disappointed to those that redefined what a truck can be, one thing's clear: the game has changed. Which of these trucks would you trust with your hard-earned money? Drop your pick in the comments below. And if you thought this list was wild, wait until you see our next video on the most overrated SUVs of the decade. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because in the world of cars, the truth is always more shocking than the ads.